wine and crime. So the first one, in 7A, and then eventually in 7C, asks you to run the regression and then interpret the results using violent crime as your independent variable and wine as your dependent variable. By the way, before I go any further, I'm sorry, one more thing I want to say. The interpretation of the coefficient right here is important. This particular number means that for every degree increase, you will have a 9,000 billion increase in GDP. So that's how we interpret that coefficient. Wine and crime. Wine and crime is our independent variable. Wine is our dependent variable. By the way, are these the results that everybody else got? Okay. In this case, what do we notice about our coefficient that's different?
Negative.
It's negative. Yes, it's negative. Which introduces a very interesting element of things. Somebody explain to me what's happening here. We have,
As one increases, the other one decreases.
it's not just quite that simple, because you have to know which one is affecting the other one. You've stated correlation, but now we need to know causation. So in this case, error term. Thinking about going back. Yes, there's a negative correlation, but that's not quite good enough. We have our correlation down, but we need to know our causation. If somebody explain to me what's happening here.
Higher wine consumption implies a better standard of living.
Well, no, yeah, right.
And, no, and that alcoholic consumption can have a mellowing effect, which would lead to lowering the number of violent crimes.
Yeah, you're working on the next one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but that's good, but it's just the next one. Because the reason why it's wrong is that we have our independent variable, in this case being violent crime, and therefore we have to figure out a compelling story to explain why violent crime is going to negatively affect wine consumption. Yes.
Criminals in general really like to be happy, and so what they can either choose to do is they can commit crimes that really make them happy, or they can drink a lot of wine, which also makes them really happy. And as they're committing, the more crimes they're committing, that's making them happy, and the less wine they feel compelled to drink.
Okay. Right now, that's pretty good.
When was the crime increasing, government principles was just the most infected.
Oh, okay.
So, literacy, alcohol, sales and purchase.
Okay, good. Yes, about data? 82, go for it.
Like what kind of manuals?
No. Sorry. You may explain.
I assume that it was dollars in wine sales,
Okay.
and that therefore, because you go to a restaurant, they mark it up 100%, 200% on a bottle of wine. So if there's a lot of violent crime, you're not going to go out to eat. So that's where your inverse relationship comes from.
Okay, not bad. Make sure you specify that assumption when you rewrite it. That's pretty good though. Yes.
As violent crimes in an area, people move away from one crime different. That's the crime they're in.
That's pretty good. Good. Okay, so you guys getting that. It's good. In B, we have the other one. We flip them. We put crime over here, wine over here.
My reason on this one is, I said this occurs because a defined percent of the population enjoys a lack of sobriety. So as more of these people drink wine, less of them need to obtain expensive illegal drugs. So this is a double effect of reducing a person's need to steal and creating less demand for drugs, and therefore fewer drug lords who are notoriously violent.
Okay. Not bad, not bad. Assuming that these statistics are accurate, and I know you guys are trying to pin me down on where these numbers came from. Let's just talk about the general relationship now. Let's talk about, let's see that this general relationship there. What do you think's really going on?
There's a third variable.
Yeah, there's a third there, yeah.
And what is that third variable?
We don't know.
Yeah, stuff like place of location or type of wine, maybe, that might be important. Cost could factor into it, because wine, I would say on average, is probably more expensive of an alcoholic beverage than, say, like malt liquor or something like that.
We're going to unemployment rates, that the higher the unemployment rate, the more crime, obviously. So less people drinking wine, more people drinking beer, I guess.
And why would less people be drinking wine?
Because wine's more expensive than beer. I mean, I don't drink, but I'm assuming wine's more expensive than
I think
beer.
that's a very good explanation. That's the one that I thought. If we're in an affluent society, for example, right? I think that probably it makes sense that there's going to be less violent crime. People are relatively, more affluent. They don't have to resort to violent crime. And I think that you can probably make a pretty good case that wine is a drink for relatively affluent people. It's not something, that for the most part, criminals don't go in asking for the best bottle of cab. So maybe that's a limited variable. Maybe we can get our hands on some degree of, maybe GDP or something like that, or maybe unemployment rate is another very good idea. See if that answers the question. Yep.
Regardless, that kind of just doesn't get like, that explanation just that they're correlated.
Right.
It's not, like, we're not highlighting something.
Right, that's saying, maybe there's something going on there that we're not seeing the whole story. And maybe if we get our hands on another kind of data, maybe we can model something that would look a little bit better.
So you're
And be able to tell that story.
For many of these, we don't actually, can't actually apply it.
Excuse me?
For many of these that we look at, we can't actually say there's no contradiction.
It's difficult to say that, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to say that no matter what, I would say. And that leads to the next question. How do your answers change, number 5? I don't know, what he was looking for there. If I had to guess, he was looking for, maybe we don't always need to know that, and then by the time it's on, you realize, well, yeah, maybe it does make sense for us to always know causation, or more times than not, it makes more sense to know. Number 9.
Well, also, I kind of thought that keeping an open mind as well.
Right.
We may be biased in our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking at 2 data points and making assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like something that came when I was reading that.
Right,
Yeah.
yep, very good point.